Well, the big news today was the fact that Shedeur Sanders suffered an oblique injury in early drills. He was shut down for the rest of practice.
Of the mind proved to me that you can do it. But he proved in one game that he could do it, so much so that they now have to give him the chance.
Because what Kevin Stefanski did is actually par for the course. I know a lot of fans don't want to hear it. I know a lot of fans don't know about it. But I'm going to take y'all inside this locker room.
Breaking news, everyone. The Cleveland Browns have reported that Shedeur Sanders is dealing with an oblique injury, and his status for Saturday's preseason game is uncertain. But here's where things get interesting. Sources close to Sanders are saying that it's not as serious as it sounds. It's just soreness, something he's dealt with before, and he played through it flawlessly in the previous matchup. So, why the sudden concern? It seems clear that Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski is deliberately keeping Sanders out of the competition. This may be a strategic move to sideline a rising star, and there's a lot more to this than just an injury. We'll break it all down and dive into the details right here, so don't go anywhere.
We know how the game goes. But then he starts talking about the offense, right? 0 giveaways. Okay, this is when you're supposed to insert Shedeur, some fans think. Let's talk.
Spooky takeaway.
A few days ago, after the matchup, Kevin Stefanski spoke to the media, stating that he wasn't just considering Shedeur Sanders to start for Cleveland, and emphasized that he's focused on developing everyone on the quarterback roster. Sounds fair, right? But then came the depth chart, and that's where things took a strange turn. Despite Sanders delivering the best quarterback performance of the entire preseason, Stefanski still placed him in the 4th position. And here's the kicker. Both Dillon and Pickett were sidelined with injuries, yet Sanders still found himself behind them. This raises even more questions about what's really going on behind the scenes in Cleveland. And then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more complicated, a report surfaced claiming that Stefanski isn't counting on Shedeur Sanders for the 2nd preseason game. This only adds fuel to the fire. Despite Sanders' impressive performance, it now seems like the Browns are making it clear he won't be a part of their plans moving forward, at least not in the way many expected. So, what's really going on here? Is this a case of strategy, or is there something deeper at play? And now suddenly he's injured. There's got to be something more going on behind the scenes, because just when the pressure was mounting from every side to play Shedeur Sanders, the Browns seemed to be trying to downplay that idea. When they couldn't come up with any other excuse, they resorted to calling it arm soreness, something that, according to them, would definitely be rectified by tomorrow. This raises even more suspicion. Is this really about an injury, or is this just the Browns' way of keeping Sanders sidelined amidst all the mounting pressure to get him on the field? Something doesn't quite add up here.
Is what you're telling me what he can't do. Like my coach just said in college, but hey, find something that he can do. See, you keep telling me what Shedeur can't do. Well, your job as a coach is to put players in position and find something that they can do.
Even the biggest names in the industry, like Dan Orlovsky, were calling for Stefanski to give Shedeur Sanders first-team reps. And yet, despite what Sanders did in the last matchup, Stefanski didn't budge. Now, all of a sudden, the narrative has shifted to Shedeur being injured? Come on, people aren't going to buy that, not with how things have played out. After everything Sanders has shown on the field, it's hard to believe that an injury is suddenly the reason he's being kept out. There's clearly more to this story than meets the eye. Dan Orlovsky didn't hold back a few days ago when he criticized Stefanski for not giving Shedeur Sanders more reps. He openly called out Stefanski, questioning why the quarterback wasn't being given the chance to prove himself. According to Orlovsky, if Stefanski truly believes Sanders doesn't deserve those reps, he needs to provide solid evidence that Sanders just can't cut it. But Orlovsky made a crucial point. Sanders' preseason performance had already shown exactly what he could do. His play on the field made it clear he's more than capable of handling the responsibility, and it was time for Stefanski to finally give him that opportunity.
And the opponent for me, Stephen A., doesn't matter. No. Shefty, it's what does it look like? And he looked like a guy that should be getting opportunity to say, nope, you're actually not good enough. If I were the Browns, he would be getting reps with the starters this week. I felt like going into the game, if he played a certain way, that would be the case. He should getting reps with the starters this week. And he should, I always say it this way, prove to me you can't do it. Prove to me you can't do it. And so far, he has not done that.
But instead of addressing Orlovsky's points, Stefanski made an excuse, saying that Shedeur Sanders is now out with an injury and won't see any game time in the next matchup. It seems like the Browns are continuing to find ways to keep him off the field, even with all the pressure mounting to give him a chance. It's hard not to wonder if this injury is just another excuse to keep Sanders sidelined, despite everything he's proven so far. The timing of it all feels a little too convenient, don't you think? After all the theatrics, fans were excited to see more of Shedeur Sanders, eager to watch him build on his impressive performances. But despite the excitement, Shedeur remained nervous, and the frustration started to build. Fans began calling for the Browns to trade him, demanding that he get a fair shot somewhere else. According to Mick Wright, Shedeur himself had even reportedly asked for a transfer if he was going to continue being treated this way. It's clear that the situation has gotten tense, and the pressure is mounting for both Shedeur and the Browns. Wright made it clear that a move to the Rams could be a win-win situation for everyone involved. Shedeur would have the chance to develop without the intense media pressure.
I'm Shedeur. There will be no media attention like should he be the starter, Stafford's there. And for the Rams, it gives you a chance to maybe have an answer at quarterback, even if it's a long shot, after this year, if this does end up being Stafford's last year. And if you're the Browns, if you spent a fifth on Shedeur and just trade him for a fourth, you won.
While it's still unclear whether a trade will actually happen, Stefanski's actions to hinder Shedeur's development have raised serious concerns. Within the franchise, there's growing belief that Shedeur might be on his way out. However, one thing has become crystal clear. Owner Jimmy Haslam doesn't want to let him go. After witnessing the overwhelming support from fans for Shedeur Sanders, Haslam is backing him, putting Stefanski in a tough spot. The pressure is mounting, and Stefanski now finds himself in the hot seat, with his decisions under intense scrutiny.
What did Kevin Stefanski do or not do that got everybody mad and hot 100? Let's talk.
All right, fellas, hey, that concludes that block versus Carolina. That compete block, that's it. And guess what? That block that we just got completed with that practice versus them with this game tonight, this football team got better. This football team got better this entire week by stacking these days, by competing versus them out there on the practice field.
The situation surrounding Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns has raised more questions than answers. Despite delivering one of the best quarterback performances of the preseason, Sanders continues to be sidelined under questionable circumstances. Coach Kevin Stefanski's refusal to give Sanders first-team reps and the sudden injury claim have only fueled speculation that there is more at play behind the scenes. The mounting frustration from fans and analysts like Dan Orlovsky, who have openly criticized Stefanski's decision-making, underscores the growing pressure for Sanders to be given a fair shot. As Sanders' future with the Browns hangs in the balance, the idea of a potential trade, particularly to the Rams, has been floated as a possible solution. This move could provide Sanders the opportunity to develop without the weight of intense media scrutiny, while also benefiting the Rams by securing a promising young quarterback. For the Browns, trading Sanders could still bring in a decent return, despite his initial fifth-round selection. Ultimately, whether Sanders stays or goes, the Browns' handling of this situation will have lasting implications. The way they manage their young talent moving forward will speak volumes about their long-term strategy and commitment to developing players for the future. So, what do you think about all of this? Do you believe Shedeur Sanders is being unfairly treated by the Browns, or do you think Stefanski has a valid reason for keeping him sidelined? Is this injury just an excuse, or is there something deeper happening behind the scenes? And what about the trade rumors? Would a move to the Rams really be a win-win situation, or is there a better path for Sanders' future? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop your opinions in the comments below. Let's discuss what's really going on with Shedeur Sanders and where you think he should go from here.